Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's okmall. Today we're covering the brand new devlog. This one's going to be covering Denbrie and the global map changes. So as it says, today's devlog is dedicated to changes on the global map as well as a new settlement of the Grand Magistrate, the Denbrie settlement. Looks pretty dope. This is going to be like the fishing village from the looks of it. And I'm guessing they're harvesting salt from the looks of it. By the time the truce was settled, Denbrie had already been turned into ruins. The council's army raised a quiet fishing village twice during their initial advance and then while retreating from their defeat under the walls of Bryn. Right now, the only thing keeping this settlement afloat is the garrison sent here by the magistrate to oversee its western border. Side note, the list of planned settlements present in the current version of the game is no longer relevant and will be updated in Rags of Riches. So the current settlements, they're no longer relevant and they're gonna get an update? Denbrie is situated in the southwestern region of the Bryn March. I was wondering what they're gonna put down there. So I wonder if they're gonna expand the map out because currently there is no access to water on the southwest portion of the map. And this will be the third and final village of the Grand Magistrate. Its few remaining inhabitants, a couple of fishermen and a merchant who was driven insane by the horrors of the war, eke out a miserable, poverty-stricken existence. The only reason why Denbrie still exists is it's salt producing. So we were right, it is salt. But salt producing infrastructure, which is just being slowly rebuilt by workers from Bryn. And look at them working. Gotta love their little art style. You gotta love it, man. Stoneshard's devs are doing they're doing the Lord's work here, I think. The close vicinity to the magistrate's borders makes Denbrie an important strategic spot, vital for controlling large swaths of the borderland. This duty is performed by a squad of soldiers stationed in the village crumbling chapel. At the same time, the garrison is woefully understaffed and is struggling to maintain order. So the local captain is eagerly accepting any help. So we're gonna get like quests. Let's go, a new place to get tasks. I'm excited. Denbrie also has outskirts, a couple of locations where you'll be able to rest on your way to the dungeon, turn in a contract, or purchase necessary supplies. And then we have St. Wald's Bridge. This is where St. Wald, a much revered Aldorian saint, crossed the river on his quest to bring in the truth to the sentient heathens. Decades later, one of the Order's Brotherhood built a stone bridge in his honor, and it hadn't been for the spitefulness of the routed council soldiers, it could have continued standing here for centuries. But it looks like they're trying to rebuild it. We have Kendrick's Homestead. The place's owner, Old Kendrick, couldn't care less about politics or the rest of the world. Unfortunately, politics don't need an invitation to introduce themselves into a person's life. After almost losing everything when the war was in full swing, he now has to constantly interact with the magistrate's troops, who are stationed at his homestead for strategic reasons. Neat. So I wonder if this place also offers us quests. Okay, so here we have the map changes. I don't think this is the full map, though. I feel like we're missing something. One of the most important changes to the global map is that many locations were moved to different spots, allowing for a smoother and more organic progression through the game's world. Additionally, the update will also do a better job at highlighting the content that the players right now have to do either stumble upon randomly or learn about from external sources. Osbrook, for example, will be located in the eastern part of the map, a more suitable place for a settlement that was once affected by war the least. Finishing the village's introductory quest will instantly let you travel to Bryn. What? Granting earlier access to the caravan. And then once you complete Gwynel's answers, Varen will begin giving you hints that'll steer your journey across Manshire, the Rotten Willow, and Denbrie. What? That's cool. So Manshire will remain almost the same. The only notable difference is that a set of additional rules for the nearby locations' placements. The Hermit's Hut, for instance, will actually spawn close to the village. Let's go. That's the Hermit's Hut right there. I mean, that's definitely closer. Don't get me wrong. It's still a distance away, but shoot, we don't have to travel all the way over here, for goodness sake. Gosh, dang it. In contrast, the Rotten Willow Tavern will be affected the most. It'll be moved from its current spot north of Manshire to the western region of the map. Can we see that here? I don't think... Is that the Rotten Willow? That's probably the Rotten Willow. I think that's like the abandoned homestead, or ransacked homestead, I should say. Not far from Osbrook's old location. Oh, is that it? Here then? Yeah, maybe that one's it. Looks appropriate. Let's see. Furthermore, the tavern will have its own contracts. Dude, oh my gosh. A few nearby dungeons and some extra functionality to outskirts. Oh my god. Oh, I'm excited for this. What's this place? The Oaken Glade? Alright. By the Magistrate Trade Outpost standards, this woodcutting camp enjoys an unrealistically large amount of freedom. The reason? The lack of a permanent bailiff, a mistake that likely occurred due to a simple neglect and forgetfulness. We have the Charcoal Burners Camp. The burden of producing the charcoal that feeds the new guild's forge was placed on the shoulders of convicts and prisoners of war. The close vicinity of the Rotten Willow Tavern isn't a coincidence. The local captain is on much better terms with the one-eyed Wigmar than he is with his direct superiors in Britain. And then we have the reputation system changes here. So, reputation system received many tweaks as well. In the current version of the game, each settlement uses the same reputation perk. In Rags to Riches, they will differ depending on each city or village's specific features, allowing for more flexibility when balancing the economy and gear progression. And if the need arises, it'll also let us add even more unique perks in the future. For example, even though we're almost no merchants in the dilapidated remains of Denbrie, the settlement's unique perk, Magistrate's Frontier, will reward you with additional Bryn rep upon completing its contracts, which in turn will grant you access to better gear, even if indirectly. Special boss-related quests, which right now are tied to the character's level, will too be a part of the reputation system and will become available once you unlock their corresponding perk. Okay, so I wonder if they're adding new bosses or just making the current bosses, instead of, hey, you hit level 10, here you go, it'll instead be, oh, hit Amity and then you can fight a boss. So we have Bryn. Originally, Bryn's reputation was meant to be acquired through alternative means. The city's contracts were introduced only as a placeholder. In Rags to Riches, we want to return to the original vision of Bryn as a center of commerce, which you'll need to visit from time to time to buy new gear and sell off loot. Obviously, the list of big city activities will eventually feature side quests as well. And over the last year, we've put in a lot of effort into adapting our dialogue creating tools for the game's engine. So the addition of new dialogues will require much less time than before. This leads to us having a big change, the complete removal of Bryn Dungeon. What? This leads us to the next big change, the complete removal of Bryn dungeons and all contracts tied to them. High danger contracts will be split between the Rotten Willow and Denbrie, which should flatten the difficulty spike reported by many players. Oh, interesting. Okay. So here's one of their perks that they have, the Magistrate's Capital. 25% of the reputation gained from completing contracts and other settlements of the faction is also granted to Bryn. That's neat. I like that. Bryn reputation will depend on your standing with other settlements of the faction, giving a lot of weight to Osbrook, Manshire, and Denbrie contracts. On top of that, the option to bribe bailiffs won't be available by default, instead requiring a commendation letter, which will be also connected to a reputation perk. Oh, so you can't just... Okay. Distant dungeons. Another thing that we want to do in Rags to Riches is to implement a complete progression system that provides content throughout all 30 character levels, which subsequently will allow us to stress test every mechanic before expanding the global map. Oh my god! Bro, y'all. They've been hard at work, and it's exciting stuff. As mentioned in previous devlogs, this will be achieved by splitting the existing dungeons, items, and settlements into 5 tiers. This change will also affect distant dungeons, which will stay the main source of the late game content. They'll be present in tier 4 and tier 5 variants, offering more lucrative rewards and nastier opponents. Now, I don't see anything new listed here outside of them splitting up enemies into tier 5 and tier 4. So our tier 1 is our normal dagger wielding boss, followed by the necromancer for tier 2, the higher tiered necromancer for tier 3. I think this is the wraith summoner, that's tier 4. And then that's, oh my god, this guy's a tier 5, bro. This guy has murdered my characters before. He's so strong. Super tough. Outside of that, okay. Well, that's cool though. I like that because it makes tier 4 much easier to accomplish. The bosses are now regular enemies. Is that correct? Like, this is the boss and these are the enemies? Because that's ridiculous. I don't want to face one of the Hero's Fate bosses as a normal enemy. Holy. All right, that's it. I'm super excited. There's a lot of locations, a lot more than I thought they were gonna be adding. The reputation changes are very interesting. The fact that they're splitting up all of the tiers, so it's a little bit easier in terms of us progressing the game. I like that a lot. And hell, the fact that even Osbrook and a lot of the other places have moved. So the moment this update drops, it's gonna feel like a completely new game. We're not gonna know where to go. I mean, outside of that one map that we saw, we have a base idea of where things are gonna be located, but still, it's just gonna be a crapshoot. We're gonna be walking around, exploring, and it's gonna be content for months just to get this. And if we're gonna be going all the way to level 30, I like it. I've been ending the game around level, I don't know, 17 to 18. If we make it to 17 or 18, I consider that a pretty good run and we're done. Let's start a new character. But level 30, wow, this is exciting. I'm looking forward to this, chat. I am looking forward to this. I hope you are all as well. I'm looking forward to hearing you guys' opinion. Hopefully y'all are excited as I am. So as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and family, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.